Hi, first graders. It's Mrs. Johnston here. I am so excited to get to do a fun project with you today. And we are going to use a story and meet a character named Oscar today. And Oscar gets teased a lot. But his character is a lot like Molly Lou Mellon. And we're going to read the story, and I want you to see if you can figure out how these two characters are like each other. Okay? So we're going to jump into the story. Our story is called The Hallo-Wiener. It's pretty silly. This story is by Dave Pilkey. The Hallo-Wiener. There once was a dog named Oscar who was half a dog tall and 1.5 dogs long. Because of his unusual shape and size, all the other dogs made fun of him. Wiener dog, they called. And Oscar did not like it one bit. Oscar's mother was no help either. Every morning when the dogs walked off to obedience school, Oscar's mother stood in the front yard waving and calling out, "Farewell, my little Vienna sausage!" And the other dogs laughed and laughed. Most of the time, Oscar was upset by all this, but not today. Today was Halloween, and Oscar was thinking about other things. All day long at obedience school, Oscar daydreamed about Halloween night, trick-or-treats, and scary costumes. Have you been dreaming about those things? Halloween's coming up. When Oscar got home, he dashed upstairs to start working on his scary Halloween costume. But when he got to his room, a surprise was waiting for him. "Happy Halloween, my little sausage link," said Oscar's mother. "I've made you a costume to wear for trick-or-treats." When Oscar saw the costume, he nearly fainted. It was a giant hot dog bun, complete with mustard. And guess who was supposed to fit in the middle? Oscar did not want to hurt his mother's feelings, so he decided to wear the silly costume. That night, all the dogs on the block gathered to show off their costumes. Everyone was looking quite scary. Then Oscar showed up, looking quite frank. See Oscar's costume? When the dogs saw Oscar in his silly costume, they howled with laughter. "Look at Oscar," they cried. "He really is a wiener dog." Poor Oscar was so embarrassed. Wiener dog," laughed the other dogs as they ran off to go trick-or-treating. Oscar tried to keep up with the dogs, but his silly costume kept slowing him down. Wow, the other dogs really aren't filling up Oscar's bucket, are they? They're not using kind words to him. All night long, the other dogs hounded every treat they could get their paws on. So by the time Oscar got to each house, there were no treats left. Soon, trick-or-treating was over, and the dogs walked home past a spooky graveyard. Suddenly, a horrible hissing sound filled the air. Hiss! The dogs stopped dead in their tracks. Then, out of the graveyard rose a ghastly monster. The dogs screamed for their lives. They dropped their treats and jumped into a nearby pond. The monster moved closer. "Please don't eat us," cried the dogs. The monster yowled and hissed. "Boo-hoo-hoo," sobbed the dogs. The monster jumped up and down. "Somebody save us," shrieked the dogs. Do you think someone's going to save them? Let's see. Just then, somebody showed up. It was Oscar. Because Oscar was so short, he saw something that the other dogs had not seen. "That's no monster," cried Oscar, and with a loud bark, Oscar waddled to the rescue. Oscar chomped and tugged with all his might. Can you see who's underneath there from the picture? Who do you think that is? Rip! And there, standing in the moonlight, were a couple of ornery cats. "Help!" cried the cats. "We're being attacked by a giant frankfurter!" And they ran off screaming through the graveyard. The dogs in the pond had seen the whole thing, and now it was their turn to be embarrassed. "We've been chased into a pond by a couple of cats," they moaned. But Oscar was a true friend. He leaped into the water and swam out to the dogs. Oscar's silly costume made a wonderful life raft, and the dogs climbed up. "All aboard," Oscar called, and he dog paddled back to the shore. When they got back to dry land, all the dogs shared their Halloween treats with Oscar. Because Oscar had been so brave, the dogs changed his nickname from Wiener Dog to Hero Sandwich. And from that night on, nobody ever made fun of Oscar again. Happy Halloween! Oh man, that was such a great story. Did you figure out why I thought Oscar was like Molly Lou? Oh, they were both brave. They were both so brave, and they didn't give up even though friends were not very nice to them. So Oscar teaches us that even if friends are teasing you, if you're kind to them, it teaches them how to be kind back. So make sure that you are always being kind to others, even if they tease you. Okay, first graders? All right, now for the fun part. We get to do a fun project together. Okay, so follow the slides, and don't forget you're going to need the materials from your curriculum bag. So if you haven't picked it up yet, go ahead and grab that so you can have the materials ready to go. Talk to you soon.